for their 7th appearance on the Oberlin campus. Please welcome Word On.
Have any of you heard it before? Yeah. Like 2 of you? Thank you for doing this again, you two. Appreciate that. For those of you that didn't already pick up on this, we're from Baltimore, Maryland. We drove up here yesterday from Baltimore. We're going to start with a story song. The story begins in Baltimore and the story ends in Baltimore. All of the stuff in the middle of the story happens in Baltimore. This is called Albany. Okay, you were right. I've seen this movie before. The cop is about to turn bad on us. Out of his holster of calculated thunder, he thinks that he is Bronson. His face looks bulletproof. This is the real world. It's just like my mama taught me. In a cradle in Baltimore, and I have got $50. Says you'll never make it to Albany. All of the luggage you were planning on leaving behind, and I have got $50. Says you'll never make it to Albany. Work at the convenience store isn't quite the life I was hoping for, but it pays some of the bills, and we hardly ever get held up anymore. And believe me, armed robbery, it's not what it used to be. This isn't my money. Here, take it, leave some for me. $50. Says you'll never make it to Albany. With all of the luggage you were planning on leaving behind, and I have got $50. Says you'll never make it to Albany. Seems glad enough to see me. His register is already open. I've got some papers, could you fill these out please? He says, and are you a convicted felon?
No.
Do you plan to be?
Nuh-uh.
Then what is the gun for? To get me to Canada? Says you'll never make it to Albany. With all of the luggage you were planning on leaving behind, and I have got $50. Says you'll never make it to Albany. So we started doing this about 15 years ago. We met at an open mic and started this thing out. We never had any plans of making it big or getting famous, and so far things are going pretty much according to that plan. We do get some radio play though. They play us not on the big hit pop radio stations, but there are these little folk music radio stations across the country that play us on the smaller airwaves that are out there. And we get a statement once a year, it comes in the mail, and it lets us know every single radio station that played our songs, lets us know what songs they played most often. And more recently, in the past 4 or 5 years, they've added a category below that. Every time you get on an airplane and they have that little headphone jack in the side of the plane, each one of those airlines tracks that information separately, and so we get a log of each airline what songs of ours have been played. And every year for the last 4 or 5 years since we released this track that we're going to play next, it has been the most played We're About 9 song across every single major airline. So United Airlines, Continental, Delta, all of them, every single one. So the way this works is you get on that plane, you're a little bit nervous because this tin can is about to take up off of the face of the earth with you in it. And you ask your stewardess or your steward, please, would you give me something soothing to listen to? And they hand you the earbuds, and you sit back, and you get your tray table right, and your seat just right, and you put the headphones in, and you take that deep breath, and you try and relax, and this comes on. I'm sorry to disturb you, mister, he said, but there's nobody flying this plane, and I've flown this airline before. There's usually somebody in the front seat who is in charge of my well-being, but there's nobody out there today. Would you please check it out with me? I'm sorry to disturb you, mister, but there's nobody flying this plane. I knew I shouldn't have taken that pillow. I knew I shouldn't have fallen asleep. It's always when I'm groggy and impaired that there's some kind of an emergency where the world needs me to be in charge of their well-being. No, I don't know how to fly this thing, but I'm usually a quick study. If you catch me after a shower in some caffeine, put your tray tables in their upright positions. Put your seats and tray tables in their upright positions. Are your seats and tray tables in their upright positions? There's nobody flying this plane. I really should have studied more in college. I always knew I should have taken more no-dos, less whiskey, that evening course on aviation. But I have seen a button like this one in a movie where everyone lives in the end. Oh, the hero pushes it and pulls back the throttle and leans into the steering wheel ever so gently. And I have seen a button like this one in a movie where everyone lives. Put your tray tables in their upright positions. Put your seats and tray tables in their upright positions. Are your seats and tray tables in their upright positions? There's nobody flying this plane. When the pilot comes back from the bathroom, I figure it out right away. I knew I shouldn't have taken that pillow. I knew I shouldn't have fallen asleep. 'Cause when the world seems to need me to be in charge of their well-being, there's usually something fishy, like a 10-year-old trying to trick me. You gotta be ready either way. You can't let yourself fall asleep on the plane. Put your tray tables in their upright positions. Put your seats and tray tables in their upright positions. Are your seats and tray tables in their upright positions? Some idiot mess with the stuff in this cockpit. He hit the one button you're never supposed to hit. We're heading down fast, and there's no way to stop.